The rain came down hard that evening, washing the city in streaks of silver and gray. The streets were nearly empty, except for one figure. Ethan Walker, a single dad in his mid-30s, pushing his old pickup through the flooded road after it broke down for the third time that month. He was late again, late to pick up his little girl Lily from his neighbor's house, late to deliver the catering order that might have saved his small business, and late to escape the storm that had already soaked him to the bone. His life had become a cycle of struggle and resilience since his wife passed away 2 years ago. But tonight, fate had a different plan. Just as Ethan rounded a corner toward the old bridge, he saw headlights flicker ahead, followed by the screech of tires and a violent crash. A black luxury car had skidded off the road, colliding with the guardrail. Without hesitation, Ethan sprinted toward it, his boots splashing through the muddy water. Through the cracked windshield, he saw a woman, young, well-dressed, terrified, trapped behind the airbag. Her trembling hands pressed against the window as she whispered, "Please, don't hurt me. I can't walk." Her voice was weak but filled with fear, as if she didn't just crash but had been running from something far worse. Ethan quickly yanked the passenger door open, ignoring the shards of glass that cut his palms. Hey, you're okay," he said softly, kneeling beside her. "I'm here to help you. I'm not going to hurt you." The woman flinched at his touch, clutching her leg. "It's my leg. It's broken. I can't move," she stammered, tears mixing with the rain. Her designer suit was torn, and her face, pale and bruised, was streaked with makeup and fear. Ethan wrapped his jacket around her shoulders and tried to free her from the seatbelt. "We need to get you out before the engine catches," he said calmly, though his heart was racing. "Can you tell me your name?" "Claire," she whispered. "Claire Evans." That name hit him like a jolt. Claire Evans, he'd heard it before. She was the CEO of Evans Tech, one of the city's biggest tech companies, the woman whose photo often graced business magazines. To him, she belonged to a different world, a world of boardrooms, glass towers, and luxury cars. And now she was clinging to him for dear life in the middle of a rainstorm. Ethan carefully lifted her into his arms, feeling her body tense in pain. "It's okay, Claire. You're safe," he assured her as he carried her toward his truck parked a few yards away. She was light, fragile even. Nothing like the powerful woman the world saw on screens. When he placed her gently in the seat, she caught his wrist, her voice trembling. "Please, don't leave me. I've had enough people walk away." Those words stayed with him long after he got her to the nearest hospital. The doctors rushed her inside while Ethan sat in the waiting area, dripping rainwater onto the sterile floor. He didn't even know why he stayed. Maybe it was because something in her eyes reminded him of himself. The loneliness, the exhaustion, the desperate need for someone to simply stay. An hour later, a nurse approached him. "She's asking for you," she said with a small smile. When Ethan stepped into the hospital room, Claire was awake, her leg wrapped in a cast. She looked fragile but composed, her usual confident expression replaced by something softer. "You stayed," she said quietly. "Didn't seem right to leave," Ethan replied, scratching the back of his neck. "Besides, you still owe me a dry jacket." For the first time she smiled, a small, tired but genuine smile. "You don't know what you've done for me tonight," she said. "If you hadn't been there." Her voice broke off. Ethan shrugged. "Just did what anyone would have done," but she shook her head. No, not everyone would stop. Not anymore. Over the next few weeks, Ethan found himself visiting Claire more often than he expected. She had no family nearby, and though her assistant offered to help, Claire seemed to prefer Ethan's quiet presence. He told her about Lily, his 7-year-old daughter with bright eyes and endless questions, and how he worked 2 jobs to keep her happy. Claire listened, really listened in a way few people ever did. One afternoon, as he helped her practice walking with crutches, Claire said softly, "You know, people think being powerful means never needing anyone, but when that car crashed, all I wanted was someone to care." Ethan smiled. Power doesn't mean much when you're alone. Their bond grew slowly, gently, like the first light of dawn. Ethan never treated her like a CEO. He treated her like a person. And Claire, for the first time in years, felt seen. She watched the way he spoke to his daughter over the phone, the warmth in his voice, the patience in his eyes. There was kindness in him that money couldn't buy. One evening, when Claire was finally discharged, she insisted on thanking him properly. She invited him and Lily to her company's annual charity event. Ethan hesitated. His worn-out shirt and simple manners didn't belong among polished executives. But Claire was insistent. When they arrived, Lily in her small blue dress and Ethan in his best and only suit, all eyes turned to them. Claire approached, radiant in a long silver gown, walking carefully but confidently with a cane. She took the microphone and looked out at the crowd. "Tonight's event is about change," she began. "But change doesn't always come from boardrooms or billion-dollar deals. Sometimes it comes from one person's kindness, someone who stops in the rain when others drive past." The crowd fell silent as she turned toward Ethan. "This man saved my life, not just from a crash, but from the loneliness that success built around me. He reminded me what humanity looks like." Ethan's throat tightened as applause filled the room. He'd never imagined being honored like this, not for being a hero, but for simply caring. Lily beamed proudly beside him, and Claire's eyes glistened with tears she didn't bother hiding. After the event, as they stood outside under the stars, Claire looked at Ethan with quiet gratitude. "You changed everything," she said softly. "I thought I was broken beyond repair, but you made me believe in people again, in life again." Ethan looked at her, the woman who once begged not to be hurt, now standing tall and free. "You were never broken, Claire," he said. "You just needed someone to remind you you're human." Claire reached out, taking his hand gently. "And maybe I can remind you," she whispered, glancing toward Lily, who was chasing bubbles nearby, "that miracles don't always fall from the sky. Sometimes they show up soaked, tired, and smiling in the rain." Ethan chuckled softly. "Guess we both found ours tonight." As the city lights shimmered around them, two lives once broken by loss found healing in each other's kindness. And though neither of them planned it, both knew that the night the storm raged hardest was the night their hearts finally began to mend. Because sometimes, all it takes to change everything is a single act of compassion, and the courage to stay when someone begs you not to leave.